Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Will?
We want your soul.
It really is a time when all of us have got to start talking louder than ever. The rapid speed of, if you like, globalization. The world government, world army, world central bank, world currency, world microchip population.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
The important thing is to know where they want to take us.
They have to destroy the dollar, destroy the pound, destroy the old order while they've been building the new world order, this technological enslavement system.
The FBI is taking on $1 billion project to gather fingerprints, palm patterns, even digital pictures of faces. Eventually, it could expand to include iris patterns, face shape patterns, scars, even information about how you walk and talk. It's called biometrics.
We want your soul.
You can't handle the truth.
Time to Howl at the Wolves. It's Saturday night, October 25, 2025 or 2025. At the Bilderberg Group, they like to play this play called As You Like It. Keith Temple in studio with me. How are you, Keith?
Awesome. Thanks for having me again tonight.
Adam Mirth is out tonight. Scotty Hare is out tonight. And he'll be back when he gets back. Co-host Dr. Brooks Agnew. You can find him at brooksagnew.com. How are you, Brooks?
Doing just fine. Another great Saturday night on Earth.
Damn straight. Damn straight. We're doing some spaghetti tonight, and I asked Keith if he could stomach some Heineken, so we're gonna switch it up from wine to Heineken tonight.
Woohoo!
Keith has something that he wants. He's gonna pat me on the back, but he doesn't have to pat me on the back because we all have been there.
Well, Brooks, I think about 4 weeks ago, you broke the story about the Ukrainian lady immigrant stabbed on the light rail train.
Yes.
And broke it 48, 72 hours before the mainstream media recognized they couldn't keep it under wraps, and it became a national thing. But Chad last week, opening the show, said that he had heard that there was a grand jury being formed in Fort Pierce to cover some of the corruption going on, I guess, in the past. And literally, while I was sitting here waiting for the show to start, across my news feed, I think it was ABC News, put out a post basically exactly saying Fort Pierce grand jury. They're seating the grand jury now, and I think it's supposed to start hearing testimony, I believe they said in January after the holidays. So good job on Chad. I mean, hey, that's in a month, that's 2 stories that were broken here on the show. So you guys are doing great.
Brooks broke it. I broke it. Listen, I cheated. Roger Stone told me.
Everybody has their sources.
Well, yeah, you got to have sources, right?
There you go. So I'm behind on it. I got to find a story to break before everybody else. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, listen, it's cool to be out there. We did scoop Brooks. We scooped Alex. We scooped everybody.
It's true. We did. And, of course, locally, Mayor Vi, she is now running for her 4th term. She won her primary because she successfully kept the murder of Irina Zarutska quiet for 2 weeks while she ran her primary. So she won her primary, just as we were breaking the story, that it was her magistrate that let DeCarlos Brown out, who brutally murdered Irina Zarutska on the Blue Line light rail here in Charlotte. It would have devastated her campaign had it leaked out. But she made it under the wire. And then they, excuse me, and then they delayed the hearing until April. So she would get elected before DeCarlos Brown ever was arraigned. So Pam Bondi moved in and filed federal charges against him, and now he's facing the death penalty, and it's back on. So Mayor Vi may actually lose her election here in Charlotte.
Wow.
Good on Bondi.
Well, it was Pam Bondi that went ahead with grand jury in Fort Pierce for, what was it called, Brooks? Operation Crossfire Hurricane?
Arctic Frost?
Arctic Frost, I believe. Maybe not, maybe.
It's Crossfire Hurricane.
Well, yeah, it's related to Crossfire Hurricane,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, so, and a lot of people have asked, well, how can they, because when you have this type of crime being committed, it doesn't have to be done in D.C. It can be done in any state. And safest place to start it is in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Sure. Yeah, because you've got a better chance at getting a judge that's fair instead of a foreign-born judge that's biased like you would in D.C.
Yep.
Well, and the Democrats did it in their playbook 4 years ago. I mean, look at all the places that they filed issues with Trump, trying to keep him from running, having the Republican nomination. I mean, those select areas of New York and Atlanta and, yes, Colorado, and they slowly went away. But, they handpicked those jurisdictions.
Congress needs to write laws to control the way judges are picked, and take that strategy away of judge shopping.
I have not heard that before, Brooks, but that is spot on, judge shopping.
I mean, they've already paid for them, so all they have to do is go find the one that wants to take the time to issue the TRO.
Listen, I'm giving judge shopping to you, okay? I love it, judge shopping.
The meat rack. A meat rack with black robes and magic mallets.
Welcome to the Magic Mallet Store.
We talked on the show last week that, thank goodness, that we've had the Supreme Court play out the way it has, and we have a really solid 5, common sense, rational votes, and then you can add Roberts in on that to make 6, when it is. So, I think I've said it, I don't know, a month ago or so, that, man, you got to be really pleased with the administration and the plan and the team. And Brooks, you brought it up about that time that, well, wait, there's still 100 plus, nominations that Trump has not put in his cabinet in some of the undersecretary positions. And I think they 2-3 weeks ago finally have put them through, and then the government shut down. In my opinion, all they're doing is playing into the administration's hand. I mean, with the government shut down, they can do what they want, and they are, and good on them. So we'll see how that plays out.
Well, there's a couple of thoughts I had about that today. Number one is we are being bludgeoned with the press that says, oh, come on, you guys control the White House, you control Congress, you control the Senate. It's your shutdown, your shutdown, your shutdown. But they ignore cloture. Cloture is a 60-vote threshold that's required to approve budgets. Now, it hasn't always been that way. Budgets used to be approved at 51%, or just 1 over consensus. It was actually the Republicans that put that in place. Go all the way back to the early days of Mitch McConnell. Of course, the reason he had to put in place is because the Republicans very, very rarely control government. Since 1776, I think there's only been 44 years that Republicans have controlled everything. Rest of the time, Democrats have controlled it. So the Republicans, excuse me, the Republicans put in a system of cloture, which makes the minority relevant again. It requires 60 votes to pass a budget, not 51 in the Senate. And that makes the minority relevant again. That was Mitch McConnell's doing. He said that the budget process is supposed to be slow. It's supposed to be lethargic and thoughtful. In other words, you're supposed to have smoke-filled back rooms where unthinkable things go on.
Right.
That's what he calls the regular order. So now that I think, in my opinion, the Republicans do control the House, the Senate, and the White House, and they are probably going to for the foreseeable future because of a couple things. One is the Supreme Court decision banning, excuse me, race-based voting districts. This kind of takes one of the precedents out of the Voting Rights Act. Wasn't really part of the Voting Rights Act, but it was made part of the Voting Rights Act by the minority. And once that was taken out, that really takes about 19 seats out of the Democrats' popularity or possibility of being popular. So it doesn't look like Democrats are going to control Congress for their foreseeable future. And it makes the minority not much more than a pain in the ass, which is where it's at right now. Congress could, with the Senate and the president, could nuke cloture. They could go back to 51 votes for the budget.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So you think, well, why don't they do it then? Well, there are a couple of reasons. Number one is if they remove it, then 100% of the budget situation becomes the credit or the blame of the Republicans. And that's maybe a card that the Republicans want to play right now for other reasons. But the second thing is, and I got to thinking about this today, it gives the Republicans a chance to basically save the economy. Save all the people on food stamps, save all the people on EBT, put everybody that's supposed to go back to work back to work. It could be the savior of the government if they did it. And it would keep the great big beautiful bill intact without going back and adding the 1 point whatever trillion dollars worth of lube that the Democrats have in there for foreign bodies and for money laundering opportunities on the coasts. So I think this is something that's on the table, because if I've thought of it, they have most certainly thought of it. And if they haven't, they should listen tonight.
Roger that all the way. One thing I would add to that is take the it looks like this dude, this communist dude. Chad, don't be so harsh. He's a socialist. This communist dude in New York City looks like he's going to possibly New York City, God help you. But it looks like he might actually win, and I'm not saying that the alternative is all that great, but it's a little bit different than straight up communism. I think the Democrat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Brooks. It's just what I'm seeing is it looks like the Democrat Party, that the donkeys are absolutely losing. They're losing to the minority. And so the party's like going to destroy itself. That piggybacks on you saying that, you know, it looks like Republicans will have control for quite some time. That's for a lot of reasons, as I think you alluded to. But as far as the whole woke bullshit agenda that I think it is a cancer that has just absolutely started ravaging the donkey party.
Well, it has. It could be said that when Trump started running in 2015, the first thing he had to do was destroy the Republican Party, which he did. He completely destroyed it. Took probably a third of the old guard Republicans retired. They didn't run again. They've been all replaced. Now the Republican Party is much more conservative than it's ever been. It's much more functioning than it's ever been, especially under Speaker Johnson. Say what you want about the guy. Now his job is to take apart the Democrat Party. That's going to be much more difficult to do. Either these 5 Democrats cross the line and say this is ridiculous. The clothes have been taken off this monkey, and we can see what it is. It's just a big money laundering operation.
It's a baboon.
We don't want any part of it. These 5 Democrats switch, and then it's game over for them.
Yeah.
But if they don't, if they stay loyal, if they march in lockstep all the way to Fetterman, then the Democrat Party is going to be destroyed in 26 because they're going to lose 15 to 20, maybe 25 seats. And I doubt they'll get them back for the foreseeable future because their funding sources are being cut off by the great big beautiful bill. This $1.3 trillion that you see in there, it's not for illegals. It's not for LGBTQ in Uganda. That's bullshit. All that money is being laundered back to the Democrat Party to pay for down ballot elections.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. But it's been cut off. So we're watching them commit suicide to try to hold on to it.
Oh, I think there's a common theme between what Chad said and what you said there, Brooks, is that essentially the Democratic Party appears to be abandoning the middle. They're running to the left, and that's where their activists are. And the bottom line is I agree, is that as they move further to the left, right, I think it's very clear over the last couple of election cycles that America's waking up. They're recognizing, like you say, the hidden issue, and they're saying, you know what, we're going to put the Republicans in control for the foreseeable future. Because it's just better for us as individuals, families, communities, the nation. So we'll see in 2026. It's a year away.
We'll see. When you see the Democrats spending their powder this early, it means they're panicking because they don't usually do that. They keep their powder dry.
Well, that is true, but they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot. Just a lot. Huge transformation obviously has been happening since even 2016, but especially since 2020, with something being stolen. I don't know what it could be, and it just worked out. It worked out. It's like, hey, thank you for stealing that motherfucker. Thank you, because it worked out really well. And then, I think everything's solidified. We talked about it ad nauseum, Brooks, but I think everything's solidified for the country in general. The fence setters, even maybe so-called staunch Republicans, also, just regular everyday Americans who don't ride an elephant or a donkey, and some of them that do ride donkeys. This one summer in 2024, they were like, all right, fuck this. Because a lot of people just saw through the bullshit. You just shot this guy. Wasn't that dude on the slanted roof bullshit? You guys, however it happened, you guys shot this guy. You guys tried to take this guy out. I think that they keep making, and it's good, and I hope they continue making all these fucking mistakes. But that was a huge mistake.
Yeah, but dead men tell no tales. So, once Tommy was dead, whose story is going to survive? Well, the one with the guns, of course. And once they hosed his brains off into the yard, that was it. The investigation was over.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that, but I'm saying the country as a whole was kind of like, you know what? They weren't buying the official. Oh, this is a lone gun. They were like, you just tried to kill him. The country was like, no, I think we're going with this Trump guy. Fence sitters went with the Trump guy, It's that through their incompetence, or it's not incompetence, whoever they're guided by, someone who is definitely not the great one. They're guided by some type of evil, whatever we're going to call that evil. They keep fucking up. And I hope they continue fucking up. Because right now we have the first real president of the United States for the second time in a long time. That's funny to say, right? We had 35 for the first time. We had 35 as a real president who stood up to the global syndicate, New World Order, and they Davy Plaza'd them.
Yep.
And Daily Plaza, Dallas, Texas, November 22, Friday. That's a Friday. And then we had to wait until 2016, and then we had to wait again until 2024. But the three of the it's just funny to say, but Donald J. Trump is the first real president of the United States. Absolutely president of the United States, not handcuffed by the globalist New World Order crime syndicate blood. It's ridiculous. No, it's the first real president since JFK. And where's the proof, Chad? Well, I don't know. They've only tried to kill him 3 times. And they only stole the election once successfully. They tried to steal 2024. I don't know where the proof is.
Oh, Brooks, I think you've had.
And on Gino, it's been a lot more than twice.
Oh,
I believe it.
Oh, yes, I could imagine that. But Brooks, I mean, you said it multiple times here that this whole idea of Trump basically currently in his 3rd term, one in office, cleaning up, one in exile, and now back in authority. And I think that that's an extremely brilliant and accurate depiction, is that those 4 years were not, as I had initially perceived, as making progress, some progress for 4 years, and then in decline, through the Biden administration, and now having to regroup and try to correct all the things. No, they were going full steam ahead for those 4 years, and that's how they are able to come out of the gun. And everybody's just amazed as how effective the first 9 months of this administration is. And like you say,
he was writing executive orders for 4 years and stacking them up.
You just wait until I sign.
I thought it was kind of crazy to think about Trump running for a 3rd term in 28. According to the 22nd Amendment, if you look at the wording, it does not talk about total terms. It talks about consecutive terms. So Trump has not served 2 terms consecutively.
Right.
So that means that he could run in 28 for a 3rd term. 4th term, actually.
I mean, I don't think he's going to do that, but
he's pretty sharp. I was watching him today, just talk with the press and on the plane, and he's he speaks more in a stand-up press conference than Biden did during his whole 4 years.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, yeah, hands down. Did you, I mean, if you didn't see it, good on you. I'll take an Aussie, term and say good on you for not seeing it, but because it was just brain blow. If you watched, what was that chick's name after the chick who, Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's the White House press secretary?
Oh, you mean Mopsy?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking about?
Jean-Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mopsy.
Yeah.
She's on her book tour, and the amount of devastating lies that she's putting out is just, even the CNN host was like, no, that's not true.
Yeah, that isn't what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, have you seen how much weight she's put on? Woo, boy.
Well, Bill Clinton had his infamous, I guess a lot of famous people have their infamous, what they kind of remember for, Bush, no new taxes, and Bill Clinton, I did not have sexual relationships with it. Well, what I remember her for was Biden is just as sharp and mentally with it, and, he works 20 hours a day and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the truth of the matter is quite honestly, from what we can see, is he probably should have been in a nursing home, an assisted living issue. And they could barely bring him out to show that he was functioning. And we know that somebody else was obviously pulling the strings. Someone else was running.
Well, Keith, you bring up a great point that it just might as well reiterate once again. First real president of the United States since JFK in 45 and now 47, right? There's a lot of different things that went on. That publicly trying to execute him in Butler, the bullshit witch hunt, bullshit trying to put him in prison, and the election being stolen. All this, but also all of us crazy batshit kooky conspiracy theorists who talk about the fact that these are just puppets of the United States. They work for the global syndicate, the New World Order. They're handpicked. Blah blah blah. Well, for the first time, by them installing Joe, the Scranton Kid, by them installing him as puppet of the United States, people looked at us and said, holy shit, yeah, there's no way he's running the country. He is a puppet.
Yeah, there was a whistleblower that said that they started using the auto pen 5 days into Biden's presidency.
Wow. Didn't give me much of a chance out of the dugout, did they?
No.
You go in there, Joe, and you're the Scranton Kid. You take a swing. We're taking your bat.
Well, I want to emphasize, I want to highlight what you said there, Chad, is Barack Obama was as much a puppet as Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
But it just wasn't obvious
No.
to the viewer. But the Biden situation just crystallized that okay, now we can see that.
Now we understand that he's a
now
puppet.
We understand. And you got to put the Bushes in that category.
We already have.
So I may differ with you a bit, but that's okay. We're friends. I surely think Reagan tried. Now, maybe after the Hinckley issue, maybe I know he was somewhat compromised after.
Yeah,
in the second
said
term,
should change in March of '81.
So.
But no, listen, they're puppets. They just are, and that was. I'm glad you. Bottom line, it was just I think another big awakening to the American people was watching, no matter whether they understood that the election in 2020 was stolen or not, they're watching this guy in office at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and then they're looking at their friends, their family members, blah, 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 who are just those are the crazy people in my family. That's my crazy friend who's been telling me, and they're like, son of a bitch. There's no way this guy's running the country. There's no fucking way. So these guys must be right. Someone else is. He's a puppet. They made a grave mistake, in my opinion, Brooks, with installing this guy. But it's to our benefit that they made that mistake.
A lot of people suffered, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the problem is that the Democratic leadership is not willing to pass the baton on to new upcoming,
Non-LGBTQ79er people.
Right. I mean, the idea is that they back themselves into that corner. I mean, Biden was the only one that could have won, or stolen, or whatever you want to use the word, in 2020. He should have surely stepped down midterm, but they just don't have anybody on the bench. And then you look at Republic. Yeah, you're right. There is no bench. They don't even have they can't even fill the full team. I mean, they're missing 2 or 3 players out on the field. And, so you look at it, and then you look at, we said Bondi already, and, I mean, we got DeSantis and J.D. Vance and, and Youngstown and Virginia. I mean, the Republicans have a lot of talented, younger.
You got Chad Holtzclaw in Jacksonville, Florida.
There you go. Chad's going to be running for mayor. That's my breaking news. I'd have to wait. I might have to wait 4 or 6, 8 years. That's my breaking story. Chad's going to be running for mayor.
Going to be running for mayor. I'm skipping over mayor and going straight to 1600 Pennsylvania. Well, I don't think I'd be cut out for politics, Brooks. I'd be like, I'm not lying about that.
I don't have the hair for it.
I don't have the energy, the stamina that Trump has. I mean, I love this country. I love my kids, but he has a deep burning. It must be inspirational, or Holy Spirit driven. But I mean, that man has some work ethic, and
dude, Keith, you and I was at the men's group with you this morning at the church, and it's the first time I went with Keith to this meeting. If I would have spoke, because obviously I wasn't gonna speak, because I would have pissed everyone off. I'm just kidding, but we were there this morning. It's been said over and over again. Now, how does President Trump have that stamina? How did he survive Butler? He, in my opinion, has providence. I think that's why.
I don't see how you could look at the events since 2016 and not come to that conclusion. And we talked about it last week about the Supreme Court. It's not only Trump. I mean, it's also how things have gone through with the Supreme Court to do that. And if you look at that and say, oh, that's just by chance, lucky break, whatever, da-da-da. No, there's a plan. I'll add Charlie Kirk into this whole mix. I mean, I still think God's in control. There's a plan, for that. And when we talk about this reawakening and this, Brooks saying that for the foreseeable future, well, the foreseeable future is the 25 to 35-year-olds and the raising of their families and, their grandkids, their kids and grandkids.
I need to have kids first. Brooke. Hey, Keith, don't get ahead.
There you go. Well, we'll talk to Kayla.
See if Kayla wants to procreate. No, but that's President Trump, in my opinion, Brooks, you know, I've said it before, but he has providence. It's just straight up. He's a mix of everything. It's just, he's the perfect combination. And Keith is bringing up his stamina. How the fuck does he have that much stamina? I'm just going back to he has providence. Because that dude works and hardly sleeps and works his tail off. It's amazing. And as Brooks was saying, how sharp, you know, dude can sit there and stand up and take questions, non-scripted questions, over and over again from a hostile.
For 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. From a hostile media for 40 minutes. They'll give you 2 hours if they could if they had stamina.
Yeah, they said they hate flying Air Force One because they get no sleep.
Well, and, you know, I have a fair number, a good number of left-leaning, progressive, liberal, I'll say friends, I'll use the word friends. And they're like, wow, Trump has all these flaws, I mean, and my point is, you read the Bible, King David had all these flaws, but God used him, and, I'm glad Chad brought up that we went to this men's group meeting Saturday morning, and I mean, it's awesome. But there was 15 guys, Christian guys, at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, gathering around a couple of real big tables for 90 minutes, and at least half of them, 6 to 8 of them, were talking about their struggles, their challenges, their brokenness, dealing with real world custody issues, financial issues, addiction issues. I mean, that's just reality. So if you're looking for someone who is clean, you just keep looking. If you're looking for someone who's going to effectively benefit, the American people in this country, then you get with Trump and eradicate a lot of this garbage.
Damn straight. Well put, Keith. Very well put. Listen, we're all flawed. We all have flaws, except for Brooks. Okay. But everyone has flaws and all this, but the flaws, your lefty friends, and I have lefty friends too, folks. And one of them is my absolute best friend. We just don't talk about shit we disagree about, and we get along just fine because there's a lot more, loving, awesome stuff other than certain things we disagree about. But I think a lot of those people that you're talking about when they say trying to point out his flaws, I think most of those flaws are made up and non-existent. He's not a rapist. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Bruce, go ahead. I'm just saying most of those flaws.
You're off balance. They're not real flaws. They're red herrings.
Yes.
Right. I don't think they're touching on the real issue. The real issue is when you get down to your left-leaning friends, is they have a real problem with the policies. It's not a character issue. I mean, what's he have? 3 wives? 3 wives? Don't throw that at me. Let's talk about the border. Let's talk about, the budget. Let's talk about substantive issues, not, he's crash. He's, he's sarcastic and he makes fun of, and he puts out a meme with him in an F-16,
Which is the funniest meme of all time.
pilot on the No King's Day parade, or he puts out a meme of the shutdown with Democratic leaders in sombreros. How unpresidential. And I've had this conversation with my mom, and traditionally it is unpresidential, right? It is not something 20, 30 years ago that you would see the leader of the free world.
Well, he changed the game.
He's changed the game, and he is now more relevant, and he now resonates and engages with new people, not just the people that rode donkeys or elephants, right?
Right.
With the folks raising kids, sending kids to school, trying to pay their mortgage and that stuff. And that's who he resonates with in the real world, with real people. And that's why he's in the office, and that's why things are getting done.
Damn straight. Listen, it's you mentioned, I don't even know if I want to bring this up. You mentioned Charlie earlier, right? Brooks, I don't know where you're at with any of this. I continue following certain aspects, and I want it, obviously it can be heard right here and now. I don't know whether Candace is out of her fucking mind or Candace is right on, she's spot on. It's one or the other. But I do have an uneasy feeling overall about, I'm not talking about anyone who's joined trying to help out. I'm talking about the organization in general.
Mm-hmm.
Turning Point is making me a little uncomfortable. And I don't know, I might be totally wrong, but it's just there are some questions, especially since those text messages are out from Charlie about the fact that he's going to stand with Tucker, and he's not going to take that money from AIPAC and blah 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 blah. He's going to stand with Tucker. They don't want Tucker. Well, I don't want their money.
Yep.
It's making me a tad bit uncomfortable here and there, and at the same time that your 30-06 bullshit is bullshit. So you can't lower the grain enough to say that that 30-06 isn't blowing someone's head off. So your 30, you should have went with a different official story. Then I don't know. People could have believed that. I was talking with Keith. I want your opinion on this because I might be wrong. Okay. I want your opinion on this, Brooks. Before airtime, I'm talking to Keith and producer Tony. Do you remember, like, the day of when that happened to Charlie? Great guest and great friend, and he's been on the show recently. Remember Holland in the Super Friends chat sent us that slow motion picture of Charlie being shot.
Yeah.
If you go back and it's fucking hard to sit there and watch that shit.
It is. It's fair.
But I'm just saying, if you go back and watch it, like I said, I might be wrong, but the cavitation event that happens with Charlie, and when his T-shirt moves,
Mm-hmm.
all of that happened. All of that happened before you saw that little hint of blood coming out of his neck, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Keith was agreeing with me, and like I said, I might be wrong. I think that's an exit wound. I don't think that's an entry wound.
Yeah, it looks like it to me.
Would we say the autopsies should come out in the next couple of weeks? I mean, I would think they should at least publish a preliminary within a week or two. They might not. They might sit on it for a long time. But a lot of these questions are just simple facts that need to be made public.
They do, because we like truth.
Yeah. I mean, at least with the even though the Mamluk Carcano Oswald in the book depository story is stupid as shit, you know, and all that, at least there's no question that you know, JFK unfortunately his head exploded. You know, here unfortunately it's 30-06. That's your official story, and everything's intact.
Yeah.
I mean, they might as well have said, listen, Tyler Robinson shot him with a 50 cal, and everything's intact.
Yeah.
And everyone believe it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, an armor-piercing bullet that would have just gone straight through would have been more likely than what we saw with the neck.
But I didn't mean to, you know, fuck it up or anything, Brooks. But I'm just saying, listen, and I don't know. All I'm saying is, there's questions have answers, and some of these questions have not been answered at all, and then turning points just, I don't know, man. You know, I think Turning Point was rocking and awesome with Charlie, and I think there's shit behind the scenes, in my opinion, because it is a business at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he was the only one fucking keeping the real headlights on for what the business is supposed to be about. Am I speculating? Yes.
No, you know, and in the early days, Turning Point didn't make any money. I mean, Charlie was sleeping on people's couches, going from place to place.
With Candace Owens.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there were people like Candace, she's not the only one, that recognized Charlie's talent and wanted to ride that boat. They wanted to ride along with him. They had the wherewithal to do it, and they really tried to make a name for themselves. And I would say most of Candace's name came from her time at Turning Point. But then it got bigger than them. They got presidents to speak there. They got senators to speak there. They got movie stars to speak there. And Turning Point became a much, much larger operation. And that's when the sponsorship started coming in. But back when Charlie was 18, 19, 20 years old, he didn't have any money. He just had an idea. He just had, you know, a dream that he wanted to be as well-read as he could be and try to go into the Lions Den and debate on a university level. And I must say, in the early days, he had a temper. He was very smart, and his brain was very quick. And you know, when you have a quick wit like that, and you have a lot of ego, you're gonna get yourself in trouble, which he did.
And when you're young, I mean, there's a maturing process too.
Then he thoroughly turned his life over to Jesus, and you could see it in him, because there were times when they personally attacked him from the mic, straight face to face, and he never reacted. And he even said, they said, "How come you're not getting mad?" And he said, "Well, that's the Jesus. That's Jesus in me, because there was a time when I did, but now I don't." And he had total mastery over that. And that's why I said, I never really saw him convert the person that he was debating with.
Yeah.
Like they never really went, okay, I get it. You know what? You're right. They never did that. Not once, not ever. But the crowd around them did.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
exactly what happened with the apostles. They weren't the smartest people. They were simple, but they were pure, and they spoke the word of God. And when they raised their right arm to the square, it wasn't the Sadducees or the Pharisees whose minds were changed. Hell no. It was the people around them. And that's what made Charlie dangerous.
Damn straight. That's a great point, Brooks.
Thank you.
Wow.
Because they would walk away and they would go, did you not feel that? Did you not feel that when he spoke? I think he was telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just a Republican. And it started showing up. Not in the hundreds, in the thousands, in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, it was becoming a Trump rally. You're right.
And I think it influenced Trump too. I do, because there were times when, Trump had a decision before him and Charlie would say, no, don't do that. Don't kill those people. Don't do that. And he would explain why. And Trump would agree. I remember when the Iranians shot down a drone, one of our drones. It was about a $15 million drone. I think it was a Global Hawk or something. And so they planned to counterattack. And they had it all laid out. And they laid it before President Trump. And they said, this is our plan for counterattacking, spanking the Iranians for shooting our drone down. And Trump looked at it and he said, how many people are going to die in this attack? I don't know, Mr. President, maybe 150. He said, don't do it. It's just a drone.
Yeah.
It's not worth anybody losing their life over. I thought that was tremendous.
Yeah.
And you don't hear that story. That never sheds the light, that of the humanity issue. And
Only us hear the story.
yes.
And they probably said, the guys with the stars and the bars. But Mr. President, it's only 15 Iranians. Doesn't matter. They're human beings. No dying over a drone.
Yep.
Well, I think Trump has acknowledged that Charlie had influence and access, and
Sure.
I think that's pretty clear.
He's
What
he's
makes me angry, frustrates me, is not just Candace Owen. There are others who took the boost that Charlie gave them and self-aggrandized themselves. Took that boost and made their own organizations and their own sphere of influence, and really went in another direction. The stuff that Candace Owens has said and done, Charlie would never do.
Listen, I'm with you. I don't like it. You got me choked up here, Brooks. I
remember when Candace Owen went down to the border and she was photographing the people in cages that Barack Obama had in these detention centers, kids under foil blankets. And she let loose the awfulest string of profanity right there on camera. And I thought, wow, she could have taken the high road here, but she did not. And I lost a lot of respect for her that day.
I'm trying to figure out, Brooks, because I was telling Tony, producer Tony, as we were setting up here, I'm trying to figure, as you do, I think everyone who's awake does, or maybe some of us do, some of us don't. I want to take in everything, I'll watch fucking Don Lemon sit there and go out on the street and lie his ass off to people, and see. I want to know what's in his mind, right? or Don Lemon. I don't know, however you pronounce that motherfucker's name. But the thing is, I want to get information from all over the place, and I'm looking at Candace. I'm watching her podcast stuff, and it's all about Charlie and all this. While the jury is out in my mind about the official story, at least she's raising some fucking questions. Because she's not buying the official story. That's all I'm saying. She might be out of her mind. I don't know. But she's raising some interesting questions, and she definitely isn't buying, Jimmy Jim on the Losi building with a 30-06 and a lucky shot. That's all I'm saying. But I do want to ask you this, because Keith brought this up. I totally forgot about it. In the Super Friends chat, for those of you who are new to the show, we have a Super Friends chat. It's a Super Friends, and you're not invited. but I'm just being flippant. But the Super Friends chat is myself and Scott Hare and Brooks Agnew and Keith Temple and Adam Earth and Ian Trottier and Holland Van der Nieuwenhof, and I'm forgetting other people, but it's just it's a collective of a lot of people who are on the show, and very, very informed people. I just named a bunch of investigative journalists and best-selling authors and radio hosts in their own right and blah, blah, blah. But in that Super Friends chat, I put in, Brooks, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. What is it called? Because it's the Google thing.
Google Trends.
Trends.
There's another podcaster or two, and Candace actually had one of them on her show that is stating, and I haven't looked at it and all, but I guess way back in the mid to late summer, in trending was the alleged shooter's name. Trending in
Losi building.
The building, the medical examiner's name, and it was mainly trending in D.C., Washington, D.C., and in Haifa or Tel Aviv, Israel, were the two main places that this was.
But that could have been a VPN too, redirecting where it's coming from.
It could be, absolutely. It could be a VPN. Yes, you are correct to do that. But some things just make my stomach turn.
Well, I mean, this is. I'm not trying to interrupt you when I'm asking you to talk, but Brooks, this wasn't from Candace. What I sent to you guys was from Redacted, and they had. I have to get the gentleman's name, but I sent it to you guys. The investigative journalist who was looking into the Google Trends, and I mean that's like a footprint, as if someone says, well, you were on the phone with blah 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 last night, and I'm like, well, here's my phone records right here on my phone. I wasn't on the phone with anyone last night at 9:52. You know what I'm saying. Uh-huh. The Google Trends are the Google Trends, and these were inquiries about the shooter, Tyler Robinson, Mauser 30-06,
the building,
the Losi building. This is in June or July,
and the medical examiner,
and the hospital that Charlie was taken to. This is, listen, I'll just come out and say it. You're stupid if you don't see that there's something wrong here.
To say this was a one-man show, that only one person was involved, is a lie, just a straight-up lie.
Yeah, well, I thought the FBI or somebody came out and did disclose that they have tracked several financial transactions from the American Communist Party to the shooter, Tyler Robertson, the alleged shooter, going back for, several months and things. So, I mean, everybody knows, that it's not a lone wolf. It's never a lone wolf.
No. Guys, I'm going to have to take a quick break if we're going to go on.
Okay.
Brooks, it's your call. If you want to go on, or if you want to.
I can do another 10 or 15 minutes. Just let me take a quick break here.
Okay.
Okay. We love Dr. Brooks Agnew. If you're new to the show, folks, Brooks Agnew was a guest of mine for the first time in 2009. One of my first guests in 2009 when this show Earth started. And it was a terrestrial radio show for a long time before it became a podcast. But Dr. Agnew was so gracious to come on my show in 2009. You know who the fuck I was.
And he was on Coast to Coast.
Oh, yeah. He was already a big deal back in the day. But you know why Brooks came on the show in 2009? Same reason why Ty Bollinger, people like Ty Brooks and Ty, and G. Edward Griffin, who was the very first guest, all these, just name after name, people like Brooks Agnew who come on a show that they've never heard of before back in 2009, because anything to get the truth out. You're trying to get the truth out? Let's do it. You got one listener? Let's go.
We'll make it 2.
Yeah.
Double.
But we were radio. We had a hell of a lot of listeners.
Yes.
But that's the stuff, the right stuff. Brooks Agnew is made of the right stuff, which is also a great movie, folks. And and so there you go. And I would say, for new listeners, you'll hear it a little bit later on, but brooksagnew.com. Go to brooksagnew.com. You got a lot of awesome stuff there. Plus, he has his own show that you can check out later on tonight. Tomorrow night. It's almost Sunday morning. Sunday nights, and he'll let you know. Keith,
I bought a book from his webpage.
Remembering the Future.
Remembering the Future, and it's when you talk about reading a book to give you a new awareness, whether or not you believe it or not, at least it's, like you say, a new way to look at and think and ponder and do those things. So I'm very pleased. I tell Chad, before or after the show that, man, to have an opportunity for once a week for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours or so to have Brooks and talk to him and ask him questions and get his opinion and those types of things. So I'm very, very blessed. Pleased.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back.
Anyway, I don't know if Brooks is back yet, but I can't wait to get him off the show. I'm going to find a way to sabotage. I'm going to have Scott here.
Well,
Scott
I want to
here.
go on something you said right before Brooks took a short break. There was, you were talking about listening to different people and
Yeah.
it's crazy for me to say this, but Bill Maher is one of the more sane.
I've been saying that for a long time. You're right.
On the left, I
love Bill Maher.
Bill, don't agree with him, but at least he's out there being genuine, I guess, and at least on some realms, some common sense. Who's the crazy raging Cajun bald married to Mary Madeline? He gets
Harville.
Yeah, James Carville, right? But the new Democratic Party doesn't want to have anything to do with them. Don't talk to us about common sense.
Bill Maher's been, because this Somehow I document everything in my mind, and however it happens. I've been saying on this show for the past 4 years, since I've been listening to Bill Maher's Club Random podcast. I've been pimping his Club Random podcast. And why? Because it's damn good. And why? Because he has all kinds of guests on. He had Charlie Kirk on before Charlie was murdered. And he does a great job. He had Kid Rock on. He has tons of people. It's not he doesn't just bring on left-leaning people, blah, blah, blah. No, he brings on everyone, and he has a discussion with them. And he is, throughout the time that I've been watching him. Now, for clarity, there was a time that I couldn't stand that motherfucker because of his stance on 9/11 and making on his real-time show, making fun of 9/11 truthers and we're fucking crazy, all this shit. But you know what? That was like 20 years ago, and he's changed a lot.
I think he's converted on that. I think
He's asking questions
I
like
think
everyone
he-
else who used to call us fucking crazy.
He had somebody on and he showed Building 7 collapsing on his show. I'm pretty sure it was Bill Maher. And
Whether it was or wasn't, the thing is, he has come a long way, and he is attacking his so-called own party now on his own platforms, and doesn't give a shit because he's like, you people are wrong. I forget who it was that was on right after Charlie. Right after Charlie was publicly executed. Whoever the guest was open, raging, plus filled, just raging liberal, out of their mind person. And Bill just like settled him down and put him in a corner real fucking quick and said, just remember, you're sitting in the same chair that Charlie Kirk sat in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He made him have respect and shut the fuck up. Because I think Bill was going off on all the dumb fucks on TikTok and YouTube or whatever that were celebrating Charlie being murdered. And he was disgusted with watching all that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because Bill Maher ain't no, I was about to sing a Tina Turner song. But Bill Maher has come, into a different part of thinking versus where he was when I hated the fuck out of him 20 years ago. So we all change. We all grow. We all do. We all learn. And I think he's come a long way. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the only dude, high profile, so-called left-leaning person that not only went to the White House and had dinner with President Trump, when all these other motherfuckers were pissed off that he went to the White House. How dare you do that? He's like, why wouldn't I? I get to go to the White House.
Took the list of all the insults that President had issued about Bill Maher,
and he signed them.
And had him sign it, and Trump signed it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
He stood by his remarks.
Yeah. And that was all, this is how and great. I'm glad you brought that up, Brooks. And who facilitated that meeting? Kid Rock, Bob Ritchie.
Oh, right.
Kid Rock brought those two together to the White House.
But the country needs more of that, right?
Yeah.
We always talk about trying to find common things to deal with that, but you got to be genuine. You got to have two willing partners to listen and to engage. At the end of the day, after lunch or a beer, or You still may disagree, but at least you had civil dialogue. I mean, you think all the founding fathers agreed on everything? Heck no, but it was through that debate process, that formed the country to be the world's superpower.
Damn straight. Hey, Brooks, I know you've had a really long day. Do you need a? What do you
Yeah, I
want?
need to bail, guys. I hate to do that. I like to have the endurance, but just don't right now.
Well, I understand. Dude, you're doing a lot, and you let me know early, so I am keeping you in mind about that. Tell everyone next Saturday night you're not allowed to do a shortcut.
All right.
But go ahead and let everyone know brooksagnew.com what they can find there.
.com. We went ahead and filled in at xsquaredradio.com all of the places where I can be seen. And I didn't really have a logo for Earth Radio, so I made one up, cleared it through Chad today. So it is up on the website. So when you want to listen to this program live and you can't remember how to get there, just click on that logo. It'll take you straight to YouTube, and you can listen to us live.
Oh,
That is too cool.
You are the man. Too cool for school.
And here's the thing, Brooks, we were talking this morning, and I was trying to figure out the genius in your madness. That is awesome.
Well, necessity is the mother of strange bedfellows. I used to have webmasters years over, and they would come up with good stuff, and then they would leave. And then it was like, okay, well, I need some modifications to be made, but they were nowhere to be found. So I had to learn to develop websites on my own. And I use a fairly easy theme called Elegant Themes, and it really, really helps me design professional websites. And so the key to making a program like this flourish is to backlink it and then put it out in the newsletter. So tomorrow night when I go live on my own program, I will have that link to Earth Radio in the newsletter. So the 9 or 10,000 people that read my newsletter every week twice will also know about this program.
I told you Brooks was coming up with something. You rock, Brooks, as you already know.
Well, hopefully we can get 5,000 views on those little shorts that Opus creates.
Let's
great.
get bigger than that. Let's go 10 times that. Let's go 50 in a year.
Okay, let's do that too. But Brooks, thank you so much, and what a great dude. I'll just have to thank you, off air and all that jazz. I still need your address for Christmas, Brooks.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. By Christmas, we'll be in the new house, in the big house.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. I need that address because you don't know what I'm sending you, but I'm sending you something.
The good news is we have a world-class kitchen and plenty of space for people that want to come visit.
Yeah. Keith was talking about that earlier tonight. He's like, I can't wait to go there, and we're going to cook Brooks dinner.
Now I got a book for you.
Here's the thing, man.
I got a
We're just inviting ourselves to Brooks's house.
absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it.
No, but we could if we plan that correctly, whenever that is, sometime next year, Brooks. We could cook an awesome dinner, all that, and obviously do the show.
Absolutely. We'll have blazing fast internet.
Yeah. Rock on with all that. Brooks, thank you so much, man. And I know you got to get going, so thank you so much. And next Saturday night, we'll do a full show with you. And hopefully Scott Hare is back on. And I think Adam Earth will be too. But,
Woohoo, the crowd will be all there.
yeah, the gang. Get the gang back together. Just don't quote me on that.
My pleasure. I appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of the week.
All right.
Brooks.
All right, Brooks. Love you, man. Have a great night. That's Dr. Brooks Agnew, everyone. BrooksAgnew.com.
Well, Chad, we got 30 minutes left. What's on your list to talk about? Or are we going to be short tonight, too?
You know, I mean, you could, hey, ask me anything. I'm going to have a bite of spaghetti.
You're going to get a bite of spaghetti. Yeah, Chad's been treating us all to these wonderful dishes. And before the show, I mean, he has more options and more things to put. I mean, we could have planned it out for 2 months. There are 8 to 10 different dishes, but tonight we're doing spaghetti. I had some sausage that my mom brings me from rural Mississippi, and it's spicy and all. And I told Chad, I said, I got this sausage in my freezer, and it's, I'm going to get more for Christmas because I always get it. Your mom always gives you sometimes socks and underwear, and I get Mississippi sausage. So anyway, so it's mixed into the spaghetti, and it's really good. And I want to finish mine as soon as we get off of here. But Chad, I'm not going to go too terribly deep into it, but if you don't mind,
No, go ahead. Do you need a Heineken?
No, well, I got about an inch left.
Tony, can you grab him one?
Yeah, I'm good.
No, I want to hear what you're saying.
I was going to say, you had kind of mentioned that you came to the men's group this morning, and I don't want to get too terribly much into it, but I do think for the listeners and the viewers, part of the theme of this show, obviously, is seeking truth. That's probably the number one issue, that we're trying to engage in dialogue, to get outside of the mainstream, to do that. And that's awesome and wonderful. And you've built a nice network of other similar like-minded people.
Right.
But I also think there's an underlying theme of we want to be helping our listeners, navigate and walk through life. And the encouragement that I would say is, don't do it alone. You need to go out and you need to find 3 or 4 really good, close friends that you can spend time with. Chad and I spend 3 or 4 hours a week, right? Come over Saturday, an hour or 2 before the show.
Yep.
Cook dinner, have a good conversation. He goes off on his week, works, I work on my week. But you need good friends, and you need more than one. And so we're trying to not only seek truth, but we want to help you navigate life. We want to help you find like-minded individuals and help improve your situation. And overall, society and the country is going to benefit and heal and move forward through that process. So, Chad, thanks for coming to the men's group today. Like I say, I hope you come back next weekend. You say we will, and we'll see. We'll do that for a bit. And
You think I'm coming back to the men's group?
I do think you're coming back. He already told me he liked the coffee I brought him. So we're good.
Yeah, it was good coffee, yeah. Definitely. Holy shit, I don't know what happened. Keith, hold it down for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
No problem. I think I could do that.
Just tell them once again about the men's group.
The men's group. All right. Well, essentially, I belong to a very large now, growing church, and they have these small groups. And they have male small groups, they have female small groups, and then they have mixed small groups. And I go to the men's one. I enjoy that, and I have a dozen or more really close friends that I've walked with for 5-10 years or so. And I think today, in particular, I was really impressed with the topic that we talked about is, where are you in your walk now? Where are you in your earthly walk or are you in your spiritual walk? And there, thank you. And there were several of the guys of, the 15 or so that were there, probably a good 6 or 7 of them. And they were really going through some challenges, addictions, financial issues, custody issues.
One guy 4 years prior was homeless.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that guy's name because it's my first time there. But 4 years ago, he was homeless. Now he's,
Oh,
he's
that's
on his
right.
feet.
He has a unique name. I don't think of it, I know who you're talking about. The kind of had the short black crew cut, kind of thin in the face. It's not Javier, but it's something kind of unique like that.
It was a cool experience. It's my first time going. And I told Keith, don't you ever bring me there again. No, I'm just kidding. But it was cool. And the thing is, people open up. And I told Keith, I ain't going to be opening up, all that jazz. I don't think people want me to open not right away. But it's cool, eventually there's a way to open up and talk. And, in a way, what is it? It's at a church, but it's a men's group meeting for people to have someone to cope with.
It's a network. Yeah, cope.
Yeah.
I like the word cope a lot better than network. I do.
Yeah.
Cope, yeah.
You have to have support,
I told Chad before the show, when I told him I was so glad he came, our pastor, Joby Martin, with the Church of 1122, he has a sermon about a paralyzed man who has 4 friends that carry him on a mat and can't get in to see Jesus to heal him. And they get up on the roof and they dig through the roof, the mud thatch roof, and then they lower him down on this mat to do that. And the pastor, for a couple of times, over the last several years, says, you really need to get 4 good friends who are willing to do with what it needs to be to get you the help and support that you need. And so just internally look and say, do I have 4 friends? Do I have 4 friends that I can really call on to help me if I need, who are going to come or do I have 4 friends that I just go out and I watch the football game with and we're kind of okay? But, so I'm hoping that Chad picks up a couple of good friends, add them to the friends he already has. And one of the things is that, all of us have our testimony. And your testimony, like Chris today, he was dealing with some custody issues, and I've dealt with some custody issues 10 years ago. And I try to give him some support because it was really clear that he was really challenged. It was wonderful. He brought his little boy, his little 10-year-old boy. Obviously, he had him this weekend and, said, I'm going to bring him to the men's group. And I've done that with my son, who's 30, to some of the camp retreats. Because you got to model. You got to show people what to expect. And so that little boy quoted some biblical things that his dad has taught him. And it was very touching to end the meeting that way, I thought.
Yeah, what you said right there, it was, and it was a pretty cool hand, Luke. For his dad's situation, all I'm saying is, there's no judgment here. I'm saying for that father's situation, his son is like really well mannered and all cool in the gang. It was awesome. I want to talk to that dude next Saturday. There's something, how you keen in on somebody, like that you want to beat the living shit out of, or you want to be friends with.
He looked pretty tough, so I hope that you're on the friendship side with that guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all good feelings.
Yeah.
All the way around stuff, but yeah. So, what the hell was was I talking about there, Keith?
Well, you're talking about that next Saturday you'd like to spend some time with him. And talk
Oh
to him.
no, I'll meet him and all that jazz. Yeah, I'll definitely talk to. Oh, that's what I was saying. 20 million things going through my mind sometimes, folks. You brought up as far as people, right, and people that you have or don't have, blah blah blah. There's a great song by Pearl Jam, which is one of my favorite rock bands of all time, and I think Eddie Vedder, the line is I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love. Others they got some, many they got none. And that's the truth. There's a lot of people out there who don't have anyone to fall back on, you know, and I mean, shit. If you think about it, my brother and I, our family's dead. Not all of it, but a lot of it, right? Through different circumstances, you know. My father was a law enforcement officer. He was dead when I was seven months old. My mom remarried when I was 4. And so that's how I had my brother, right? But my mom had a hard life with losing her first husband and then my stepdad to suicide. You know, there's a lot, and I'm not even starting with me, as you know. I'm not even starting with me, but everyone goes through travail in their life. Some people a little bit more, some people a little bit less. Some people somehow fucking skate through shit. Everything's blue skies and green lights all the time. That's cool, but you haven't really lived life if you don't have any tragedy.
Scars.
Yeah. Not that you want them, but I mean, you know, but jealousy is a sin. I'm not being jealous of any of you who just your entire life is blue skies and green lights, but I'm inquisitive. How? You know, stuff like that. But you should check out that song. If I could remember the name of it.
Well, Chad, I think what you said about being alone and isolated, the lyric from the song, that's one of the biggest ploys the devil uses, is to isolate, and it plays with your mind. I mean, oh, I'm manly. I can handle this. I mean, I don't need to be soft and lean on somebody to help. Well, you're a fool. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you have that arrogance and that issue, you're just not looking at it right. Embrace, be in community with some like-minded, like you say. There was 15 men there. Maybe you only want to connect with half of them. You know, maybe another half are just, there's just not that connection, whatever. But you know,
I think everybody there was all cool in the gang. Just Breathe is the name of the Pearl Jam song. Just Breathe. If you look that song up, folks, it'll blow your mind. One of the most beautiful songs you'll ever hear and stuff, because I told you. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Keith, listen, the men's group, I'm going to go back, I promise, okay, in 3 years and 1 day. No, but, you know, I'll be there next Saturday, next sábado mañana, all right? Even though that's tomorrow. I can't be there tomorrow, Keith. It's got to be next Saturday.
I don't think you'd be there.
Yeah.
You'd be by yourself tomorrow. But, well, we're going to have to get Tony in here and get ready to wrap this up a few minutes early, I guess. I'm ready to hit that big pink button at the top and do my 45, 47 dance.
You're going to do a 47 dance for us?
Yeah.
I want to let everyone know, if you're a first-time listener, listen, you'll get a regular show when Scott Hare gets back in Adam Earth, and all this. Brooks had to dip out just a little bit earlier tonight, but we have a lot of guests coming up. So if you're brand new to the show and you know the name of maybe someone called Roger Stone, he's been on the show many times.
I've heard that name.
Have you?
A couple times.
Yeah. Roger's been on the show over and over again since 2016. He's a good friend. It's kind of how I know about certain things before other people do. And he's coming on again very soon. We got to get through November. We're looking at having Roger on in December, if we can finagle that around the holidays. Either way, he's coming on, and Brooks Agnew is gonna love me forever, because that's the one guest he's been wanting me to get on for a long time. And once again, Scott Hare should join us. Should I even say this? Scott Hare might join us again on the radio show at some point in time. I love you, Scotty. He will be back. I have confidence that he's going to be back the next time he's on the show. I have full confidence.
That's a good bet. So
Thank
he'll
you.
be back when he's back.
So, yeah, there you go. Keith, thank you for a great show with yourself and Dr. Agnew tonight, and we're going to go ahead and, I guess, get out of here. Are you calling time on me? Oh,
15 minutes early. Ready? Yeah.
are we going out 15 minutes? All right, we'll give you a full show next Saturday night, folks. Tony, are you ready to get out? Okay. Not just yet, but almost. Timing is good. Folks, once again, next Saturday night, Scott Hare probably going to be back on. Dr. Agnew will be back on, and we might have a guest for you. If not, then, I mean, we might. But any new listeners, thank you so much. Let everyone know about the radio, or I still keep calling it a radio show, about this thing you're listening to called Earth for right now and stuff. But for our elusive engineer, webmaster producer, Tony, greatest producer on the planet, The Sentinel, you heard about Scotty Hare, Adam Earth, you heard Keith Temple, Brooks Agnew, and, of course, the luscious Bob Austin, folks. Until next time, let justice be done till the heavens fall. I'm Chad. This is the one and only Earth. Now dance, Keith, dance.
I need track to.
There you go. Get down with the get down, Keith. That's right. I'm feeling it now. There you go.